Welcome listeners to our next topic of discussion on soils and soil profile, and this is again in the series of our discussion on fundamentals of geology. So we'll be looking at now to the soil and soil profile, because obviously wherever you are living, be it your home, wherever you are going over some road, you are riding some vehicle, or you are even sitting on a grassland, these are all actually related to the presence of soil beneath that particular pavement or your house, or even where you are sitting on a grassland, for example. So the understanding of soil is extremely important, because it also is important for infrastructural development nowadays. So founding means the understanding of a soil is very important, because always if you are building any kind of infrastructure, it is founded on the very soil you are sitting on. So obviously, to start with, soil, regolith and bedrock, these are the three words that always are considered collectively. So the bedrock, that is the lowest part of soil horizon, will be coming to that as well. That is, the bedrock is the solid rock layer beneath the soil and regolith, like this, and it consists of consolidated rock that forms the earth crust, typically made up of igneous, sedimentary, or sometimes metamorphic rock as well. And they provide the structural support for the overlying soil and regolith layers. Whereas regolith refers to the loose unconsolidated material covering the bedrock, includes fragments of rock, minerals and organic matter, and obviously formed by the processes of weathering and erosion of bedrock over the time, and can vary greatly in composition and thickness depending on the geological processes and environmental factors. So you can see, obviously, if you have a research acumen to study soils, you can also interpret our past climatic change of the earth. Regolith is often found on the surface of the earth, and it is also present in the moon and some other celestial bodies as well. But here I would also like to include the term soil, and here, to my limited understanding, I will say at this moment, just by looking at this diagram, I can say that apart from bedrock, whatever is present above the bedrock will be considered under regolith, and finally the topmost part will support obviously vegetation. But now if I want to demarcate exactly soil out of this regolith, then I can say that soil can be considered till where your plant roots can penetrate. But now if I look soil in a very scientific manner, or if I simply follow the definition of soil, then it is considered as the uppermost layer of the earth's crust, composed of organic and inorganic materials formed by the weathering and decomposition of regolith, along with the addition of organic matter from plants and organisms. So you can see that just by looking at this earlier diagram, still I can make out that I will say that this is the thickness of the soil, or this is the lower margin of the soil, till which level your part of the regolith is supporting a plant life. So I can say that it contains a mixture of minerals, water, air, organic matter, and living organisms as well, such as bacteria, fungi and earthworms, and it supports plant growth and provides nutrients and moisture for vegetation. So that means if I go beyond the level of where it can support plant life, you are actually exiting the soil horizon and you are going deeper into the earth. So subject to human activities such as agriculture and construction, which can alter its composition and properties. So like this, if I start with a fragmented rock like this, and with thousands of years or hundreds and thousands of years of rainfall and other erosive agents, what will happen, that the fragmented rock will transform into this weathered saprolite with some parent material with primary minerals, and some secondary minerals or secondary materials can also come in that place, which is getting transported from somewhere else. So finally, when it will start to support the plant life or it will contain organic matter, till that level it can be definitely considered as soil, and it will also contain a huge amount of clay minerals in it. Apart from that, you have your bedrock in that. So the key difference between these three terms, bedrock, regolith and soil, is the first one is the composition. So bedrock is composed of solid rock, while regolith and soil are made up of loose unconsolidated material. Talking about formation, regolith forms from the weathering and erosion of bedrock, while soil forms from the further breakdown of the regolith material, and obviously some organic matter is also getting added to the soil. That's why it is different. It contains organic matter. Only regolith does not contain any organic matter. Function: bedrock provides structural support, while regolith and soil support plant growth and ecosystem. Properties: soil contains organic matter and nutrients necessary for plant growth, whereas regolith may lack these properties like I just mentioned. Location: bedrock is typically found beneath the regolith and soil layers, where regolith and soil are found at the outer or the upper surface of the earth. So based on several parameters, soils are also classified into certain subclasses. On the basis of composition, soils can be described under mineral soils that will contain only minerals, also organic soils that will also contain some organic matter in it. Then on the basis of texture, soil can be considered as sandy soil, silty soil, clay soil. You can see there is a control of the grain size, and obviously the mixing of these grain sizes, so they can be considered as sandy one, silty one and clay one. Sometimes there are also some mixtures of it, and it depends that the first one, if it contains a high proportion of sand particles, it results in good drainage but low water and low nutrient retention capability. If the soil is silty in nature, it is composed of fine particles between sand and clay in size. Silty soil have moderate drainage and fertility, but in case of clay soil, when it is also rich in clay minerals, in that case it is having high water retention but poor drainage and aeration. So it will also provide nutrient to the plant life if it is a clay soil. Then on the basis of formation processes, you can have residual soil formed in situ by weathering, transported soil transported by wind, water, glacier or some other, or simply by the effect of mass wasting, it can get transported from one part and get deposited at a different horizon of soil. Then colluvial soil accumulated at the base of slopes due to gravitational movement, like I was referring to mass wasting, and alluvial soil deposited solely by river or streams, mainly in the floodplains, natural leaves and deltaic environments. Then on the basis of horizon development, soils are also classified as antisoils. With minimum horizon development, we will be talking about horizon, then we will be understanding these terms as well, but just to mention it here. Then inceptisol, soils with limited horizon development, characteristic of young or moderately weathered plant materials. Molly soils, these are extremely useful for agricultural purposes. So molly soils are fertile soils with a thick dark surface horizon. Dark again reflects the presence of organic matter in the soil. Then alphisols with a clay rich subsurface horizon, typically under deciduous forest in temperate regions. Spodosols, acidic soils with a subsurface accumulation of organic matter and aluminum, commonly found below your coniferous forest. Then altisols, acidic soils with clay rich subsurface horizon and low base saturation, found in humid tropical and subtropical regions. And oxysols, highly weathered soils with a subsurface accumulation of iron and aluminum oxide. So due to presence of iron, it might look like a means it will give you a red color appearance of that soil, and it is also present characteristically present in tropical regions. On the basis of productivity, Prime agricultural soil, highly fertile based on fertility obviously, highly fertile soils suitable for crop production with good nutrient availability, water retention and drainage in it. So it will be the prime agricultural soil. Marginal soils will have relatively poor fertility, low drainage, texture, requiring special management practices by the different agricultural methods. Like I have given this example earlier as well, but still just to mention again that in agricultural fields there is a common habit of distributing agricultural lime, which is mainly calcium carbonate in nature. So your calcium carbonate in very powdered form, that is agricultural lime, is distributed all over soil to gain its fertility or to increase the fertility of that particular soil. Based on the environment, soils can belong to various environment. The first environment that we'll talk about is the temperate arid region, like something like this field photograph, very less vegetation and very dry in nature. You can also get this kind of temperate arid region in the Rajasthan area and parts of Jammu and Kashmir and Himachal, some parts of Himachal Pradesh as well in India, and some northeastern states like higher altitudes of Sikkim and Arunachal Pradesh. So with reference to India, these are the location of your arid regions. So it shows lack of vegetation cover, can lead to soil erosion and formation of dunes, maybe of smaller scale, maybe of larger scales. Saline soils may develop in these areas where water accumulates and evaporates, leaving behind salt deposits. Like similar, the process is very similar that we discussed when we discussed about Sabka deposit in our discussion with sedimentary rocks. Soil organic matter content in this arid region soils are typically low, leading to poor fertility and nutrient retention. Soil pH tends to be alkaline in this area due to accumulation of soils and salts and carbonates. Global examples include Central and Western Asia, Middle East, Africa, North and South America, and Central and Northwest Australia. Again, coming into other type of environment, that is temperate humid regions, insectisols are very common, characterized by moderate weathering and soil development. Forest soils, spotosols are also prevalent when there is the occurrence of coniferous forests. Then alphisols are also found in this kind of region in deciduous forest with relatively fertile soil and a clay rich subsoil horizon, B horizon, we'll be talking about that. Altisols are also common to these areas, may develop in areas with relatively high rainfall. So your temperate humid regions also you can look at this thing all along the Ganga alluvial plain, west coast, some part of east coast. These are all temperate humid regions, and whole of your north eastern regions, be it Assam, Manipur, Meghalaya, all these states they have Tripura, all these states these have relatively temperate humid climates, leading also sometimes commonly the occurrence of mollisols, that are fertile grassland soil found in regions with moderate to high precipitation and vegetative cover. Soil horizons are well developed in these regions with high amount of organic matter, clay and other minerals. So these globally, these humid temperate regions are located mainly in the middle latitude of 30 to 60 degrees north on all the continents. Then you have the third kind of region, that is temperate but semi-arid region. Here you will get soils like aridosols that are characterized by very low rainfall and limited vegetative cover. Soil horizons again are very poorly developed like that of the arid regions as well, but here you will get soil varieties like vertisols that may occur in areas with seasonal drying and wetting cycles. Then you can get very low fertility of your soil, and for agricultural purposes you need to add something to the soil, like I was referring about agricultural lime. So these are worldwide, these are located between mid 30 degree to low 70 degree latitudes, so typically bordering a humid continental climate or a Mediterranean climate. So you can see semi-arid temperate regions are in this part of Delhi, then Uttar Pradesh, some parts of Rajasthan. These are all semi-arid temperate zones. Now coming into the soil types in India, the first one is your alluvial soil. So it is found in the Indo-Gangetic plain, river valleys, and these are rich in fertility like this, which are very favorable sites for agriculture. Then you have black soil, which are also known as black cotton soil. These are also very high in organic content, so these are also favorable for your agricultural purposes, like that we can see in the Deccan Plateau, in the parts of Maharashtra, Gujarat and Madhya Pradesh. Then it is obviously suitable for growing crops like cotton, soybeans and some oil seeds. Talking about red and yellow soil, these are predominantly found in central and southern parts of India, including parts of Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu and Orissa. And these are formed typically due to the weathering of crystalline rocks like granite and metamorphosed granite gneisses. Red soil is well drained and acidic, while yellow soil is less acidic and more fertile in comparison to the red one. These are suitable for crops like millets, groundnuts and fruits. Lateritic soil again found in the Western Ghats, parts of Kerala, Karnataka, Goa and northeast India, formed through intense leaching in tropical and subtropical regions, leading to accumulation of iron and aluminum oxide. But these are often low in fertility, but can be improved by adding some external materials to the soil by some proper management techniques, and these are mainly used for cultivation of nuts, tea, coffee and rubber. Then you have the arid and desert soil, where agriculture is almost impossible to carry out, found in arid and semi-arid regions of western India, including Rajasthan and Gujarat, characterized by sandy texture and very low organic matter content, often saline or alkaline due to high evaporation rates and limited rainfall. And obviously it is only suitable for some drought resistant crops like millet, barley and some very drought resistant vegetables. Apart from that, no agriculture is possible in this kind of arid or desert soil. Then you can also think of the mountain soil, found especially in the Himalayan region and some other mountains as well. Varied composition depending on altitude, slope and vegetation, often shallow, stony and prone to erosion, but used for crops like wheat, maize, potatoes and different kinds of fruits. So your Himalayan soils or mountain soils are also very favorable for agricultural purposes. So these are the different soil types in India that are used for different agricultural purposes. But remember that the main coloring agent in your sedimentary rocks and soils, the main coloring agents are limonite, hematite and organic matter. So if there is content of limonite in your soil, obviously the soil will give you a yellow color. In case of the presence of iron oxide like hematite, it will give you a red color. In case of the content of organic matter, it will simply give you a dark or black kind of color. So based on, now you can play with these three colors, means limonite, hematite and organic matter in different proportion, and you can get a variety of coloration of soil. And also these are important for the coloration of sedimentary rocks as well. Now moving into the soil profile, we'll be having a detailed discussion in the second part of our discussion on soils, that how these soil profiles also form and interact with the vegetative cover over the time. So we'll be dealing with that in a more specific way. But just to look at the several layers of soil, soil profile is a vertical section of the soil from the surface down to the parent material or the bedrock. It consists of distinct layers called horizons, which vary in composition, color, texture and structure. Each horizon represents different processes of soil formation and contains various components. Like this one, if I am looking at this particular diagram, I can say this is obviously the lowermost bedrock, which is referred to as the R horizon. Just above that, where your parent material is in the weathered form, disintegrated or unconsolidated, unsolidified form. In that case, you will be considering it as the C horizon, where you will get the parent material of the soil but in an weathered and unconsolidated kind of a nature. Then you have the subsoil, which is also referred to as the B horizon. Then you will have a few, you can say few large size particles of some disintegrated material, again derived from the parent material. So, but the rest will be obviously of your relatively fine grained. Then you have the leaching layer or the alluviated layer, which is also referred to as the E horizon, and the topsoil is referred to as the A horizon, where there is obviously content of organic matter in it, be it your plant remains, animal remains, and this is the topsoil which are also being burrowed by different animals, like for example rat and snakes. They can burrow within the topsoil and can stay over there. And the litter layer, where your vegetative cover is actually growing, that is your O horizon or your organic layer. So, these are the 6 layers that are important to complete a complete soil profile. So, your soil profile, again just to discuss a bit, O horizon, that represents the organic horizon. This horizon consists mainly of organic matter such as decomposed plant and animal residues. It is typically dark in color. Again, organic matter means the soil will be dark in color and found at surface in forest soils or mixed with mineral soils. Then the topsoil, A horizon, also known as the surface soil. The A horizon is rich in organic matter, minerals and soil life, and then it is often darkened by presence of organic matter, and it is enriched with nutrients released from the organic horizon or the O horizon above. This layer is crucial for plant growth and cultivation, because this layer will supply the nutrient towards the through the plant roots. Then you have the alluviation horizon, E horizon. The E horizon is characterized by the loss of minerals and clay particles through process of leaching, sometimes due to the processes governed by groundwater, leaving behind lighter colored sand, silts or organic matter. It's commonly found in forest soils and may not be present in all soil profiles. Then B horizon, that is subsoil. If E horizon is not present, because it is not always present, then A horizon will be immediately underlain by the B horizon, that is the subsoil beneath the topsoil. So, the B horizon is the zone of accumulation of minerals and other materials released from the A and E horizon that is present above. It is often contains clay minerals, iron oxide, aluminum oxide and other secondary minerals. The color and texture of the B horizon may vary depending on the type of the minerals that are present within it. Then the C horizon, which also reflects the parent material of the soil. This horizon consists of partially weathered or unweathered parent material such as bedrock or sedimentary deposit, and it is relatively unaffected by soil forming processes and serves as the source of mineral nutrients of the overlying horizons. And finally, the lowermost or the bedrock, that is the R horizon. The R horizon is the unweathered bedrock or consolidated rock underlying the soil profile. So, it may not be always be visible depending on the depth of the soil profile. If the soil profile is very thick, you will not be able to reach to the bedrock, even if there is an means cliff you are looking at. But if it is not at very deep level, then definitely you will be able to appreciate the presence of our horizon. So, apart from that, you can have different again types of soil profiles based on the presence of these horizons or sometimes absence of some of the horizons. Simple soil profiles, complex soil profile, transitional soil profile in between these two. So, simple soil profile consists of a single A horizon overlying the C horizon without any presence of E or B horizon, whereas your complex soil profile will contain distinct A, E, B and C horizons. Transitional ones exhibit characteristic of both simple and complex ones. components of soil profile. Obviously, like we were discussing again and again, that minerals could be present in soil, or organic matter could be present, clay minerals could be present, and obviously some secondary minerals that have been transported from someplace else can also be deposited within a soil profile. So here I would like to conclude the first part of our discussion on soil and profile. Again, we'll come back with the second and part of the discussion on the behavior of the soil to support vegetation, and how different kinds of exchange processes are going on within the soil horizons. Thank you.